Alright, I think I'm live. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing this Monday? Or, no, it's a Wednesday. How's everyone doing on the Wednesday? I have something to show you. I'll wait a minute, though, until more people show up. Can we get a Darling in the Franxx making sense? I don't know if there's that even much to talk about, Darling in the Franxx. I actually hate the ending. I don't know how you feel about it. I didn't like it. It was like everything up to, I think it's the last 3 episodes I liked, and then Darling in the Franxx had to ruin it. How's it going, Rogelio? Is that Ace as your profile picture, or is that somebody else? I can't tell. Today we're talking about anime yet again, like the last few weeks, but I do have something to show you. Sorry, I just got back to the gym. I'm still eating my protein shake. Oh, it came. It came. This is here. It's pretty cool. I think you can read it. It's a bit out of focus, but that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Hello, Bleach Guy. Yunin. Gotta focus this some more. It might be as good as it gets. Yeah. Oh, it's Shanks. Okay. Yeah, so this is cool. Thank you guys again for being subs. You made this possible. Obviously you can't have a channel if nobody watches it. So, yeah, that was the big reveal. I think I have something. I have something to show you guys in like 2 weeks.
Oh no.
Something else, but yeah. Love your vids, thank you. Insane that I can make those long videos. Long videos aren't that hard to make, guys. You could all make them if you wanted to. They just take a lot of time. That's the only downside to them. Cause I don't know. There used to be a day when people would make like 2 YouTube videos a day if they were full time. Yeah, not happening. It takes me like, I'd say now an hour-long video will take me about 10 to 12 days. That's probably on a good day. Yeah, I did use the lane for the thumbnail. I moved away from using the funny faces, but I might bring them back or something. But yeah, I will do something on Monogatari off season at some point. I haven't done it yet because of copyright things. Yeah, so there's some back end stuff to deal with, but yeah, I plan to at some point. Hello, Nicholas. Yeah, I wonder how you guys are doing with all this cold weather if you're American. It was negative 17 Fahrenheit yesterday. That was fucking insane. I had to drive to a apartment showing. That was awful. It was like an hour away from where I am right now. And it was probably the worst ride of my life. You know how the like thermometer bar in your car has like cold and hot? It did not get up below. So there's the whole thing. It got maybe a quarter to hot. It stayed on the bottom half the entire time. I was not warm the entire time. My feet were cold as shit. But I made it through. So the ADHD is how you're able to make the long vids. Oh yeah, I do not know. I don't really have ADHD. I cannot sit still for too long though. But so the way you do it is you break it up and you give yourself small breaks. You have like little goal points, like I'm gonna edit like 20 minutes and then 20 minutes of footage, and then I'll take a small break, walk away from the desk, come back, and that kind of helps. It was negative 35 a few days ago. I pray for you. That sounds awful. Yeah, it was bad here, but not that bad. Yeah, don't go outside, I guess. That would fucking suck. Love the long form. Yeah, I think there's not like a very long video planned for the future right now. Actually, I'm editing one that's like an hour long, so I guess that's the case. But there's like a couple that are like 30 to 50 minutes coming up. Yeah, some people really like the long stuff. They're like, this is it. This is it. I don't want short stuff. But sometimes there's not that much to talk about on a given topic, so it's got to be shorter. But I try to make them. I try to shoot for like 23 minutes or above at the least. Sometimes I don't hit 23 just because there's not enough to talk about, or maybe I just didn't know what to talk about for that long. So I haven't finished Sunny Boy yet. I am starting it probably Friday. I'll probably start it Friday. So next week I will have watched it. Next Wednesday, if you want to talk about it. It's gonna come in April. Yeah, there'll be a video on it in April, so stay tuned for it. That's an anime talk, but I want to ask if you like rap or just my favorite music. I do. I like a lot of R&B and hip hop. There's like the modern day rap, and I would say I like some of it. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know. Rap's a really big genre. Like, it's very broad. There's a lot of different approaches to the medium. Yeah, I do like a lot of like R&B. If you guys have heard Nubijules, I don't remember how to pronounce it. That's if we're talking rap, that'd be more hip hop, I think. But they're one of my favorite bands. He does a lot more musical stuff, but he does have words into it. It's kind of like poems. Singing poems. So my apartment has 3 feet of snow. I almost slipped on black ice, but you did have a snowball fight. Well, that's good. 3 feet of snow. Where are you living? You're north of me then. You have to be. You have to be upper Midwest or even more. I don't know. Hello, King of Horns. But watch Scissors 7. I don't even know what that is, so no, I haven't. Sounds interesting. You like long form, watch the vids regardless. I appreciate it. Yeah, I get there's a big shift towards long form content now. Or not like, I guess short form still rules. Like it's what most people watch because it's easy to digest. But like in the long form sphere, people don't like 8-minute videos, which I understand. I think there's a place for them, but I think definitely the long form stuff's usually you feel like you get more from it. Unless like I've seen Mr. Beast videos and I walk away, I'm just like I feel like I gain nothing from it. He's got to work on his storytelling. He's really sucking at it. All you needed to hear. All right, sick. See ya, dude. How long does it take to edit? Depends on the video. If I'm doing like an hour-long video, probably about 10 to 11 days of work. I work 7 days a week, so it usually takes like a week and a half. I probably overwork myself, to be honest, but I like it, and if I'm like feeling a little burnt out, I'll just take a little, I'll ease off for the day or something. So yeah, Samurai Champloo. Nubijules. That's the word. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I found them through Samurai Champloo, and then I started listening to all their stuff, and they're just really good. But the guy tragically died not a long time ago, but I think it was like a decade ago. So yeah, he doesn't make music anymore, but he's a really good producer. That's what he is. Yeah, passing of him. Yep. Still down in Albany, Georgia has that much snow? That's fucking crazy. I didn't know you guys got so much snow down there. South usually doesn't get that much snow. Sell your soul for a long coverage darker than black. Somebody's told me to do this before. Hold on. Darker than black, you said? Oh, okay. Yeah. I like the mask. It's very, would get me interested. Oh yeah, you can't see me. There I am. Yeah, I'll consider it. I have to watch this. It's on my list. There's a lot of shit on my list, guys. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, it's called What Next. That's what to do next. I guess I should probably get into that. Hold on. Let me pull up my projects. Yeah, I actually do plan to make a video on Vagabond this year. And I'm watching Gurren Lagann after Sunny Boy for a video. Fina Pirate Princess. So I can help you understand the story. Interesting. What's this one? Oh, this is pretty new. Okay. Interesting. Looks decent. Always looking for coverage of older manga. Tank Police. Appleseed Ultimate Teacher. Okay. Ignore the darker than black second season. Not a thing. Nobody likes it. Alright. So I said what to do next, which was kind of an inclination to get a little bit of knowledge from you guys to see what you want to see. So I've been creating for 3 years, yeah. King of Horns. Basically, this year I've kind of noticed, looking at how stuff is done over, I guess, the past year, most of the best videos performance-wise are anime from like 1998 to 2010 or 2000. When did Code Geass come out? I think that's 2006. Yeah, so I think I don't know if you guys have seen the AOT ones that have been coming out. They don't been coming out. They don't do as well. They're not doing that well. They're doing okay. By no means am I complaining, but it seems that like you guys have a preference for older shows. Is that right? Am I on the mark or am I off? And then with that in mind, I started to look for shows that kind of fit that, and most of the shows you guys talk about are in that era. And that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense to me. Oh, you just named 3 banger mangas. Yeah, I have all of those on my list to cover. Hunter x Hunter video would be interesting. So anyway, I got off track again. The idea for this year, I kind of have a list going here of stuff. It's still getting moved around. It's not set. But I have a lot of stuff from that era of 1999 to 2010. And some older stuff, if I can find it. There's not as many anime that are like interesting to cover before the 90s. Everything I need explained is pre-Evangelion. Hey, name it. I'll check it out. I do like older anime because I feel like it's more interesting from an artistic standpoint. Stories kind of come and go. They can be interesting from any generation, but like art style, how Akira is made is really cool. There's a YouTube documentary, I'm pretty sure. I think it's just a video of somebody who talked about kind of like the back end of making Akira, and it's pretty cool. Just how they use cell animation and everything. I think that's right. I haven't seen AOT yet. Damn, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by how many people haven't seen AOT. Older folks like older shows. That's true. I guess I don't know if you guys know this. Probably wouldn't. You might know for yourself, your own age. But I'll pull it up just to make sure I'm getting this right. My demographic is a lot older than I would have assumed when I started doing anime. The split is... Gotta go to the tab. I'll pull it up. Yeah. Okay. The split here, crazy. Yeah, 41% of you are older than me. That is crazy. and then I'm 22, so 33% are in my like age range. And those are my biggest, and then it goes up to 35, 44. Now, what I gather from that is I'm impressed with myself, and I guess I appeal to a lot of people that are older than me. So it's interesting. I didn't know that's how that would work, but it did. Love your vids, period, even if it's may not know like the art. Okay. I'm doing Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, that's one I'm covering. I'm doing that actually pretty soon, I think. Probably in spring. The Big O. I've never heard of that one. I'm adding that to my list. That's fucking interesting. Huh. That's like an American art style, I feel like, but it's definitely anime. Huh. Older hand-drawn would rather hear older hand-drawn stuff. Okay. You did mention Tokyo Babylon next time. I would put that on my list. You're buying anime on VHS. VHS when I was a kid was on the way out. I remember probably like when I was maybe 10 is when DVDs kind of became the big thing, and VHSs weren't as big of a thing anymore. Anime got big in the late 70s and 80s in the UK. Anime never really got that big until like now in America. I mean, they had Dragon Ball on TV, but I kind of don't count that if that's the only thing that's viewable. But I guess when I was a kid, they were putting anime on Adult Swim, so I guess America's kind of had this thing where they've pushed anime towards older audiences, but not necessarily to kids right away. Now it's kind of everywhere. But yeah, when I was growing up, it was kind of like you had to go out of your way, or you can catch Dragon Ball at night on Nicktoons. Yo, you're 47. Sick. There's 5% of you that are in that age range, 45 to 54. 33, yeah. Yeah, I keep hearing about Revolutionary Girl. It doesn't like, so the art didn't really speak to me, but I have heard a lot about that it's a good story to dissect. So I'll have to check it out. I think it's on for this year. Is there a subscriber goal by the end of the year? No. I'm not too worried about growth stuff. Really all that matters is it's just kind of like the same or better. It just kind of progresses. I keep track of growth to make sure it's like on a healthy like progress, but I don't know. YouTube's weird. There's not really a point to worry too much about projections. I mean, I have to pay my bills. That's it. I don't have to worry about that too much. I have enough money to cover my bills now, so that's really all that matters. If you do Devilman Crybaby, I'll give you my soul. Oh yeah, well, don't worry. I think I'll probably give you the date for that. In June. I have it hypothetically coming out in June, so we'll see. Seen AOT, but I didn't like how it changed. Trying to get out of the walls, and I kind of liked how it changed though. It kind of progressed, and when Aaron's world opened. But yeah, I get if some people don't like that. Any advice on starting an anime channel? Make videos. That's the best you can do. You'll get better as you go. Sailor Moon. I don't know what I would do about Sailor Moon because it's kind of like I guess it does tell a story, but it's not super in depth is the word for it. Anime is pretty big in Mexico. I see a lot of memes about Dragon Ball being really big. I think that's the biggest anime there. And I've seen a lot of animes about Evangelion being really big in Mexico, which is funny. Anime was saved by Scrooge McDuck. Look it up. Scrooge McDuck saves anime. invented manga after World War II, stated that his direct influence was Scrooge McDuck. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that tidbit of knowledge. I didn't even know that. Yeah, people keep saying Legend of Galactic Heroes should be covered. It's big. Anime's big in Nigeria too. I'd be interested to see. I don't know how much power we have to poll, but I'd be interested to see what areas of the world have started getting interested in anime. I feel like it's gotten only bigger and bigger since COVID. I guess, you know, you're stuck inside and interested in exploring new things. You arrive at that. Have I seen Somali and the Forest Spirit? No, I haven't. Your first exposure to anime was accidentally watching Seven Deadly Sins. And you're too lazy to change it. It's an interesting one. One of my friends is really into Seven Deadly Sins, but it's like a blessing and curse because the show fell off so much budget-wise. So he always talks about how like, oh, the first season or so are really good, and then it just sucks. He just had to keep with it. I have seen Haibane Renmei. I watched it 3 weeks ago for a video, and it will come out. I don't remember when it'll come out. It'll come out at some point. I think it's in March. The start of March, yeah. March 8th. Haibane video. Watching Evangelion for the 5th time. There is another Evangelion video come out. I think I've said this before. There's like a lore video which kind of expands on the first 20 minutes of... No, it's not even 20 minutes. I think it's the first 7 minutes of the Making Sense of Evangelion video. I kind of just made a video that explains more of the stuff that occurs before Shinji arrives to pilot the robot. Sloppy noodles. You've actually figured out my April Fool's joke. It is a in-depth summary of High School DxD without any. I'm omitting all of like the ecchi and nudity shit. It's just the story, and it actually. I'm editing it right now. It's not that bad. The story is. I always knew the story was pretty good for such like a sloppy show, but it is pretty good. It is pretty good. But yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword of an April Fool's joke. I guess you guys kind of know it now, but for the people that don't go to the live streams, April 1st will be a April Fool's High School DxD video with none of the nudity. ...2020 Nigeria. It got big in Nigeria. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know where it would get big, but yeah, it got a lot of popularity in 2020 in COVID. Do PS... Okay, yeah, what's that video at now? I said on the description of the Lane video, once it hit 1 million views, I'd do the PlayStation game, which I still plan to do. The reason I've gotten into live streaming more is I want to open the door to playing these games, like the Lane game, live, and then I can do a video on it. So it's like, you get to experience both playing it. Because I'll have to use an emulator. I don't even know if you can get the game like physically in America. It's not an easy find, at least. I know that much. Oh, it's only at 400,000. Maybe I'll do it anyway. I'm sure I'd reach it over time, but maybe I'll just do it anyway. I'm gonna play a Modi at some point on stream. I plan to play Yakuza 0 as well, just for the fuck of it. But all this stuff will be on Twitch, because these I kind of want to keep about the community here, and gaming stuff's a little different. So I don't know if it'd be wanted here. Because some people, don't like the mix of content. I don't know how you guys feel currently here right now. Is there a Ghost in the Shell game? Oh, there is. Are you talking about the new ones or the old ones? But yeah, some people don't like when content mixes. Like, let's say hypothetically, I posted like a movie analysis here, like an American movie analysis. It probably wouldn't be received well by the like larger majority of people. So it might be like a different channel thing. But, you know, I don't know. You can kind of cross wires sometimes. Like if I did Adventure Time here, like an analysis of Adventure Time, it might still be fine. But yeah, I mean, I have that other channel where I kind of open to experiment with and figure out if I want to do something different with it. So, yeah, Twitch. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Part of what's next for this, for like all my creation stuff, I will be streaming on Twitch on Mondays, starting February. I think February. What's the first Monday in February? February 3rd. And I'll play some other stuff. I like GeoGuessr. I don't know if you guys like GeoGuessr. I'm not very good at it. I'm okay. I know my geography only a little bit. I can do the map stuff because I played so many, like, I don't know if you guys played Total War. I've played a ton of that in Hearts of Iron, so I've had to stare at maps before. I pretty much know all of Europe really well. I'm not that great with Africa. I think the rest of the world I'm pretty good at. Yeah, I don't know if I could name everything in Africa, though. As a Mexican who was born in America and is now in Mexico, I can confirm that anime is very big here, especially Dragon Ball and Evangelion. Those are the two I knew for sure that they were big fans of. So, there is going to be a Poon Poon analysis this year. I bought all the manga last year to read when I was in California because they have like a Japantown there in LA. But I just haven't read it all yet. I'm on volume 2 though. I started reading again. I'm just worried because I know where the story's going. I know it's going to get depressing. I just don't want to be sad all the time. So I might just power through it on a weekend or something. There's a Berserk game? I didn't even know that. There's no you're pulling my leg. There is no way there's a Berserk game. Is this new? Oh, this is not new. Whoa. Let's go to Steam. Just put in a random. (2017). This came out in 2017. Cinematic footage. What was that? What kind of gameplay are we talking here? It's very positive. It says it's very positive. That might be a potential. Not that one. Berserk for the PS2. Oh, we're going specific. Berserk game PS2. Oh boy. This is old school. Yeah. Oh man. So my first gaming console when I was a kid was a PS2. And I remember playing Spy Hunter on it, as well as this X-Men game and this Incredible Hulk game. The Incredible Hulk game was so shit, but it was fun as hell just to run around and like blow up tanks because you can just punch the tanks. You can pick up people and like throw them. It was insane. Thank you for the congratulations, Nabiscus. I don't have any plans for the Incorrect Summary series. It might be dying. I don't know. I might mess with it at some point, but at this point right now, I'm not sure what to do with it. I am venturing into manga this year, though. You'd recommend Land of Lustrous. I've heard a lot of people speak highly of Land of Lustrous. Yeah, when you do the philosophy videos, I think your next step is to cite more actual... Yeah, so... That's a good point. I have this new series I'm gonna do this year at some point. I think the first episode would probably be later, May maybe. I'm gonna have like nihilism in anime and kind of pick examples of it from certain shows. Like example, Johan is a nihilist, and kind of dive into the topic and use anime as a way to support and kind of explain it. So it's kind of what you're talking about with the philosophy of thing. I think if I do a philosophy of video, like the philosophy of the Evangelion thing, yeah, I just should definitely look into just exploring deeper into the philosophical aspect or topic instead of kind of just brushing over it. I think I brush over too much of the philosophical points I bring up, and I don't go into it enough. So yeah, I think that's in the future something I should expand on. I've heard about 86 before. Yeah, it's on my list to do something with. Yeah, racism and inequality and war. Yeah, those are all good points to talk about, especially right now. You're gonna be sad reading Poon Poon. Oh, I know, dude. It is for the greater good. There's a good story there. There's a good point to it. It's just so sad because it's real. Like, it's very grounded kind of video. Berserk's PS2 game is like a side story of the manga. Okay. What are the chances of us getting a homunculus no longer human, or any of the Junji Ito books? I'd say pretty high. It's hard to balance like all the different videos to make, so yeah, it kind of depends. I keep trying to shoot to make more, so we'll see what I can get done this year. And then yeah, I guess there's a lot of experimentation I'm gonna be doing this year. I'll have that kind of more philosophical or more philosophy based videos coming out. I have this lore video stuff I'm trying to do, and I have one of Evangelion coming out. Depending on how that does, kind of give me a general idea of how much people like that kind of stuff. The Making Sense is staying around. That's the best performing series. The story videos do pretty well. The AOT ones aren't doing that well. So, but I think it's the anime that matters in those cases, because the Code Geass and FMA ones did really well. Those are really meant to kind of broaden the appeal of the channel. I want to do like a documentary style video. It's kind of like, you know, breaking down a person. So like Hayao Miyazaki, I want to do one on him, kind of just to, like, looking at his life and what he's done. You know, I think that'd be interesting, because he's a very ponderous man, is how I would describe him. And I plan to do more videos that aren't really tied to the series. Like, I want to do a video on ping pong, but that doesn't really fit anywhere of what I really have right now. So it's more like message based, like taking the theme of a show. And I think the focus there isn't to, in the past I've relied a lot on speaking on the story.
Oh no.
And I think there'd be more doors open for anime if I spoke on the theme specifically and kind of broke into the theme. So kind of use the anime as a starting point for a conversation. Like Akira would be really good for that, and I want to do a video on that, and it'd be like the message of Akira would be like kind of the video name or something, and it would talk about what it was saying, what it was saying at the time, which is usually important, and what it could be symbolizing now. Because I think a really interesting thing about movies or shows and their themes, especially when they want to be, they can really talk about a certain point in time. Like if you look at American movies during the Vietnam War, they really spoke on something, or during the Cold War, they really spoke on something at the time, but they also carry over to now, and they either might keep the same message or have a new message. And I think that's pretty interesting. So that'd probably be a good Probably be a good series. And yeah, I want to do some stuff on manga. I think the Goodnight Poon Poon, for example, would kind of be a conversational piece. Not necessarily, because like, you understand the story, you watched it. Might be explaining some few things that maybe people are confused of, but a majority of it would probably be talking about what the manga is trying to say. Is Makima a nihilist? She's a fucking psychopath. She probably could fit the nihilism trait. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's like a normal nihilist though. She's like chaotic. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna say anymore. I had not watched Onan High School Host Club. I tried to get my girlfriend, or I guess my fiance now. I've tried to get my fiance to watch it. I don't know if she got all the way through it. I haven't really gotten to it because I've just been focused on other anime. I haven't done Akira yet. It's kind of like a staple, I feel like, for analyst channels to do. Difficult to analyze the philosophy of anime in the changing climate. The disconnect between Eastern and Western philosophy. Yeah, it's different. I don't know. You can always analyze something based off of your own experience and the person that made it, their experience, because you're going to interpret it a certain way, but it might not be the same way that the author intended you to interpret it. So you can still talk about it. It's not too hard to analyze the philosophy. I more think of it, you're kind of thinking of maybe a political philosophy versus like ponderous, like thinking outside of how a world should be run kind of thing. Because there is a big polarizing now between Eastern and Western ways of, I guess, life. But there's also a different approach to ways of life in Eastern and Western countries. But there also is in like the West, every country has a different way. They're not really the same. You bring a good point up though. I think that'd be an interesting topic at some point. There's a video of capitalism in Naruto. Okay, I'm gonna look this up later. Don't burn yourself out. I mean, watching anime and like researching stuff, it's stuff that interests me, so it doesn't really burn me out. If you get into YouTube on a certain thing that doesn't really tickle your fancy, it's easier to get burnt out. It's still possible for me to get burnt out, but yeah, I try to be careful so that doesn't happen. I've pretty much avoided it. There's times where you feel like I want to take a break or something, so you just take a break. But I'm pretty committed to what I want to do, or this, like what I want to do with this. So yeah, it's not too harsh. It's not like I'm working really hard. I sit in this chair, I edit, I write scripts, like that. It's pretty easy stuff. I'm not working grueling hours. I guess I am technically, but the activity's not grueling, I guess is the word for it. If I have to watch an anime all day, it's not the worst thing in the world. It was only bad when I had to watch Monster, all 75 episodes. I did in 3 days. It was hard. It was so hard. I don't think I moved that much. I made dinner. I went to the gym to just like, be active instead of sitting in this chair watching Monster, but that was hard to get through. But I don't really do that often. I try to plan it more if it's like a big ass show, but there's not been a show I've covered that's over, I don't know, 30 episodes maybe. Most of them aren't. AOT's a bit different, I guess, because I watched it when it was coming out and I've seen it multiple times. So I didn't have to watch the entire thing straight all again. What's one video you wish got more views? Let me look. I think it would have had to have been something recently. My older videos, I understand why they didn't do as well. And so I don't really feel bad about that. I guess one video I wish did better, the NHK one, I guess. It didn't do bad, obviously. I think many of my videos have done to a point where I'm like, oh, this is a flop. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm satisfied with how well all of these have done. I guess if there's something I regret, I wish the Perfect Blue video didn't get age restricted, because that really tanks how it can get to other people. But yeah, I mean, all of my videos have done pretty well. There's videos that, like, oh, it didn't get 100,000, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, a lot of people already saw it, like you guys saw it, so it's not a big deal. I don't know. Videos get views, they get views. Make a 10-hour video on the themes of One Piece. God. Let me just be honest with you all. I'm not the biggest fan of One Piece. Like, and this isn't like a shade thrown at One Piece. It's a really good, not an anime. It's a really good manga. I can't speak on the anime. I haven't watched the entire thing. I've watched a bit of the anime. I'm just not a fan of how long it takes for everything to progress. But there's also something to say that One Piece is a kind of story where it's like a reoccurring story. The story arcs are a story, and he's basically floating the characters to the next story. That's kind of, in my opinion, what One Piece is, versus like a 150 chapter manga, which is one cohesive story and it's over. Or even like a 300 chapters manga, it's like one story is over. Naruto has kind of become this because they started doing Boruto, but before you could have kind of made the I don't know, the argument that it was one story, even though that the arcs were pretty divisive, but they did carry over a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff did matter. And One Piece has stuff that carries from each story that matters in the next story. Or like new characters are introduced. But it's really like, you feel like you get a whole story from an arc. But he just keeps going. He just keeps going, guys. Oda needs to find an ending. I'm at this point I'm convinced he doesn't know what to do for the ending. And he's just like afraid to end it. He's like, it's a great story, but at some point I want an ending to my stories. For example, a 10-hour video, that'd be fucking crazy. I'm sure some people would watch it all, but at some point you're like, get to the fucking point. Like, come on, end this thing. So yeah, it's like if every movie we watched was 7 hours, everyone would be like, come on, I just need an ending here. Like, maybe cut it down to 3.
Oh no.
Who are my inspirations? None of my inspirations do what I do, I guess. I think, well, I watch Giguk a lot. That's kind of what, or Giguk, I said that right. I've watched him a lot, and he's kind of what got me into doing anime videos, but obviously what I do is completely different than his style. He's probably what got me into this, though. I have a lot of YouTubers I watch that don't do content like I do. I said Pyro once, Pyro Cynical, because his is gaming related, but it's similar to what I do. But I am a big fan of CDawg VA, Connor, and what he does. Obviously, it's completely different than what I do. I would like to do that kind of content one day. I wouldn't want to stop doing this kind of content because I enjoy this, but I want to do both. If that makes sense. Same with have you guys seen Abroad in Japan? I love Chris's videos. They're really well made. He has like a professionalism to his videos, but it's also still YouTubey, and it feels creator made, versus like Mr. Beast now feels very corporate. And I think it's because of their team sizes. And I think Chris is very heavily involved in everything still, like to this day. I don't know if he edits everything himself anymore, but at one point he was saying he did. I was like, that's fucking crazy. He has how many million subscribers, and he hasn't got an editor yet. He edits on a trackpad. He edits on a laptop trackpad. I don't know how the fuck he does that. I don't know if any of you have editing experience. I have to have a mouse. I cannot do the trackpad thing. I've seen people do it in my classes, and I applaud them. I just can't do it. Any anime you recommend watching? Many, very many. If you go to my Annie list, it's linked on my channel. If you go to like the link section, yeah, you can look at what I've rated stuff. That'll kind of give you an idea. Depends what you're into too, but it'll give you all the information there. I just made the comments about Eastern cultural influences because having lived in Japan with a Japanese family, the not engaging in conversations that would solve a lot of miscommunication makes sense. Yeah, I've heard that's a big problem in Japan, communication, because you're worried about, it's like, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's like about, not trying to be an inconvenience to others, even your family members, so you kind of hold stuff in. There's some of that in the West. It's just different. Like we're super vocal, but some people still hold stuff in. Like the man of the house, or men in general, are expected in Western cultures to hold stuff in more. There's also a movement against that in Western cultures, but there's still that kind of I don't know, thought process in place. So yeah, blasphemy. Mythic, I could see that coming because you have Luffy in your profile picture. But yeah, no, I think One Piece is good. Going back to that for a second, it's just I like stories that have an ending quicker. One Piece is a money printer, yeah, and like Pokemon, Dragon Ball. That's why they're all continuing. Even if the mangaka would want to end the story, they'd be like, "No, fuck you. We're gonna throw so much money at you that you just can't say no." Because if somebody gives you like, I'm gonna make up a number. You finish your story and you're like, this is the ending. I like this. I feel happy. And they're like, for 10 million more, you can just keep going. We're gonna provide you with $10 million. We're gonna pay you more too. This is just to make you keep going. I don't know how you say no to that. One Piece is kind of like JoJo in a way. Yeah, vaguely. I mean, it all follows Luffy. Some arcs don't. Let me recorrect me. I'll recorrect myself there. Some arcs don't follow Luffy, specifically. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it. I guess some characters in JoJo carry over. Not all of them, though. Where did you stop reading the manga? For Goodnight Poon Poon, I'm in volume 2, so I stopped mid volume 1 because I knew where it was going. Power's video on Utopia is insane. Yeah. Do Raxaphon? I've heard someone say that last time. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. We'll continue this conversation. Alright. Oh, sorry. When you gotta go, you gotta go. You love Chris Abroad, aka Iron Mouse? I've heard that meme before. It's been a while though. Wasn't that like earlier? 2024? That's when that was a thing. Welshman in Japan and Chris Bod both have great channels. They do. They're a lot different than me. What I do. So maybe one day. I also don't live in Japan. I don't know if there's, like, let's say that kind of content in America, going around and doing things. The thing is, like, a lot of people are from America, so stuff here isn't that interesting. Or at least, like, on my channel, a lot of everyone's pretty much American. There's about 45% people that are American, and then there's 55 that are other countries. So it's just a big audience, but like everybody knows everything about America. I don't know if there's anything that unique about America. There's not much to do here besides drive around to different consumer areas, consume things. all the cool stuff's in the West, like in the land that's not, got all the strip malls in it. Where I'm at, there's nothing really of interest, I guess is the word for it. But yeah, I made a travel road trip thing going west. That was fun. I think the videos were okay. It was obviously my first time doing something like that. But yeah, Bonsai Pop is similar to me. I don't know who that is, so I'll have to go check out his stuff. Don't Sleep on Broad in Japan podcast. I have listened to him. Yeah, it's a lot interesting. He talks about, I don't know, more, I guess, inner stuff in Japan. I guess he gets more in depth. Whereas his videos kind of go over a topic, like this is the area. Whereas he usually talks about current events and stuff in Japan on the podcast. Yeah, he does never promote it though. I just found it one day because I think a video came up and I thought it was just an Abroad in Japan video, but it was his podcast. It's magnified being Dutch. It is absolutely conflict avoidance because it means being a bother, basically. Okay. Oh, the Germans do that too? I don't even know where it comes from the west side. Like in America, it's a thing. It's obviously different. It's like same but different, I guess is the word for it. Different countries have similar problems, but they're also different at the same time. I think the way JoJo changes the main characters around is really well done because it avoids character burnout while still giving more content. Yeah, I agree with that. It's a unique approach. I don't think there's many stories that change their character every arc. Do I prefer sub or dub? I definitely go sub, but I like Japanese, the language in general, like how it sounds. And I've watched stuff without even sub. Obviously, I can't understand everything because I'm not a native speaker or close to it. I just don't. I think dubs are kind of getting better, but the debate still stands. I think sub always wins out because they get more funding to have better voice actors. There's some dub voice actors that are good, but there's just some times where it just sucks. And that's why I don't like it. I mean, Dragon Ball has a good dub. I don't know why, like they have, in my opinion, it's better than the sub. So I don't know. It's just interesting. Some people love dubs, even the bad ones. I'm glad you like my videos, Bont. This idea there's nothing of interest around you is mad to me. My whole country is only a few hundred miles long. You have states bigger than that. Yeah, I understand that, but our states don't have that much. Like, there's a lot of stuff here, but the stuff all costs a lot of money. It's not like there's nothing to do. I guess I'm complaining a little bitch. There's stuff to do around me. It's just, I guess the words like what do you want to do is a good point. I like nature and I like going into nature, but that's hard to do where I'm at because it's more urban. And I also live in the Midwest and everything's prairie, so it's not as diverse. Like if I was in a mountainous area, to me that would be amazing. I could travel and hike all around it. But to somebody that probably grew up in the mountains, they probably think it's boring as shit. So I guess, yeah, some of it has to do with where I'm at. It's like the whole mountain in Japan thing, meme. Like it looks more interesting because it's exotic to you if you don't live there. So that probably contributes to it. Why I think like, oh, Chris's videos and Connor's videos of exploring things in Japan are more interesting. Because the American stuff to me just feels normal, but that's because I grew up into it.
Oh no.
So yeah, I mean like there's stuff to do around me. There's a lot of stuff that's food related though, or drink related. I guess I could go to the movies. There's a gym next to me. Yeah, I don't know. I I guess I crave something different is the word for it. When I went out west, it was different. So I do think it's more of just where I grew up. It doesn't feel of interest to me when it's still interesting in some sense. But yeah, the states are big. Some of them have nothing in it though. Like we went through Nebraska. There's nothing in Nebraska. I'm sorry if you live there. There was I think a good stretch where we were hungry and we just couldn't find anywhere to eat. Because we like passed a restaurant and we were on country roads for probably a good 2 hours before we found like a mom and pop shop. It was a mix of Indian food and Taiwanese food, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's Thailand, maybe it was Thailand food. But it was really good. You wouldn't expect that. It was like a really small town. Would chat watch a sock sensei hiking and reading manga by the campfire? That is a crazy stream idea. The only problem is there is a good portion of the mountainous areas of the United States that just don't have cell service. When we were hiking in the west, like I think it was Colorado I was in, I didn't have a lot of cell service. Even in the Smokies down south in Tennessee area, didn't have any service. If I could figure it out, I feel like that'd be interesting. It'd be a fun stream to do. Are there any conclusive answers? It was kind of like you're gonna click and then we're gonna talk about it. And we've talked about a little bit what to do next, what's coming next. I kind of have a general idea. It was kind of where I was moving anyway, and I think you guys have kind of confirmed that's the proper path forward. Like, oh, you guys would be interested in that kind of content, kind of thing. So, you think it's fair to say that thematically Code Geass is a lot stronger than story-wise than One Piece? I would say so. It's just finished, you know. You can look at it as like a finished product versus One Piece is not finished yet. You can't look at it. Where does it start? Where did it go? What was in the middle? You can't compare it because it doesn't have the ending yet. So I would say so. I like shorter stories, even if they're longer. But like, you know, you can reach an ending within a week of watching. Yeah, sub does give original feel of line delivery. Trying to learn Japanese with Rosetta. Okay. I would recommend using Wanikani to get a grammar base, like kanji and radical and then grammar. The first 10 levels are free. You don't have to pay anything. It's a really good app for that. Kind of makes you remember all that stuff. I have not watched Breaking Bad, but my roommate has, and he does this thing where he watches something and he'll explain the entire thing to me. So I basically know everything about Breaking Bad. You've never been to a movie theater in your life. That is insane. Are you serious? You live in Georgia, okay, and you haven't been to a movie theater. That's baffling to me. At least I don't know your situation. We had a movie theater probably 20 minutes from where I lived as a kid. And I wouldn't say we went all the time, but we went maybe every other month, maybe. It used to be a lot bigger in America to go to the movies. Like it was kind of like a weekly thing, or even bi-weekly. I don't know. It's just kind of gotten less over the years. I still go. I don't remember the last time I've been actually. 2 months ago? There's certain stuff you go to the theater for, and then there's stuff you see and you're like, I'm gonna wait for that. I saw Red One in theaters. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Christmas movie. It was shit. It was a hot stinker. Wow. I knew that going in. It's not like I'm fucking dumb. Sorry. It's not like I'm a fool. I don't know how to word this well. So I'll just roll with that. I didn't go into the movie thinking this is gonna be a banger. I knew what I was getting into, and I fell asleep probably 40 minutes in for like 15 minutes because, oh my god, they were dragging on the exposition. It got past, it was I'll give him credit. The scene where there's like a scene where Dwayne the Rock Johnson is like fucking launching himself across rooftops like an 80s action hero. And I love 80s action movies, so it made me feel like I was watching one of those for a bit. But then that scene ended, and then it was just like a ton of exposition taking forever to get to the next like thing. The days of Arnold Schwarzenegger where it would just go like fighting scene to fighting scene to fighting scene. They weren't great movies, but they were entertaining. That's sometimes what you want. Depends what you're walking into, I guess. So. Oh yeah, Twitch chat is really quick. I haven't. So when I guess I haven't explained this. When I first got into, I guess, doing content again, I was Twitch streaming, and then I stopped, and then I started doing this, like anime stuff. But yeah, I guess yeah, that's why I wanted to start getting into Twitch again, kind of like on a side thing, because I enjoyed it. It was just. At that point, I was finishing high school, going into college, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I was like, I want to do this anime stuff, so I have to do this, not the Twitch thing. So I think also, like, if you want to do content, it's better to do videos first and then go to streaming, because it's really hard to get a base of people to watch you if you aren't well known. Live streams aren't pushed out. The people that have followings usually have the people on their chat. So. Darlene the Franks. You mentioned this at the start. I don't know what to do with Darlene the Franks, because like, if I'm gonna talk about it, it would be about how much they flopped in the ending. That would be my conversation about Darlene the Franks if I did a video on it. I'd be like, it's great until you get to like the last 2 episodes, and then it's like just really weird. Like they combined. I still don't understand it. Like making sense of Darlene and the Franks ending. Why did they combine? Why did they become like one giant being and they like wipe out everything? I get the part why they're wiping out everything. Like the monsters that are coming. It's just a really weird way of doing it. Have you thought of doing a video on Durarara? I think I said that right. Yeah, it's on the list. People have said it's up my alley, so I've been playing with the idea of it. You say it like it's well, Nicholas. I think it's a little strange that you haven't been in the movies. I don't think that's outlandish. Has anyone else not been to the movies at all? I'm just curious. I thought it was like a normal thing, or standard thing. Everybody's been to the movies. I would get like not everybody's flown, because not everybody flies or travels that far. So I would understand that. But like the movies, I feel like that's everywhere, and we're in America. I thought we were born on movies. Give Red One a break. Yeah, only 250 million. I could go on a tangent about Hollywood and how much they're ruining everything. I think, like, there's like a saying, creativity is best when it's not for monetary gain, which is really hard to do, especially in like a society where you need to make money. So I guess the best way to do is make sure creativity is not driven by money. And movies are kind of that now. I don't know what to do about it. A24 is doing okay, because they kind of fund more creative driven projects. They don't have as big as budgets. Their movies are usually better though. I guess the saying is, your superhero movie that's worth 400 million is probably not that good. If you need $400 million to make a good movie, you're doing something wrong. I'm just saying. I don't think that's outlandish to say. Obviously, I'm not like an accountant for a big movie firm going like, yeah, this is what they need the money for. I really don't know what they use all that money for. Sometimes it's not even in the movie. I don't know if you guys have seen Aquaman 2. Aquaman 1's a pretty good movie. Aquaman 2 is a stinker. I didn't even get through the whole movie. I got through halfway, and I thought I was living in an eternity. I was just sitting down with my fiance, and we were like the movie must be almost over. Like, it feels like we've been here forever. I pull up, I pause it, It's like an hour in. There's 2.5 hours to the movie. We were not watching that thing. It was bad, and the VFX was terrible. I don't know where the money went. They had a ton of money for that movie. So yeah, good luck Hollywood. I had at one point thought, so if content didn't work out like this, and I couldn't make a living off it, like what would I do? One of the options was to like work on movies. I don't want to do that. I don't want to work with those people. There's nothing wrong with them. There's some great people in Hollywood. There's also just a lot of people I wouldn't want to deal with, you know? Like the production agencies. They basically tell you what to do. So it's not really that creatively driven. They're like, you got to do this. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's got to have the smolder face at least 3 times in the movie. You got to put that in, even if it's not for the movie's sake. So it's like it's less about the project now. It's less about making a creative project, and more just about like what's gonna make the most money. It's kind of what Mr. Beast stuff is. It's not about the project or creativity. It's about how are we gonna make people sit here the longest. It doesn't matter if they have a pleasing time. They walk away and they're like, "This is a great video. I love it. Oh my god." It just matters that they sit there and they watch it all. And as long as they do that, nothing else matters. Because it's all about the money, you know. Like I try to stay away from looking at the revenue metric to judge if something did well. I always look at did people watch all the way through or something. That's a little helpful, and usually that tells you a bit. But it's also how are the comments? What is the reception in the comment section? What are people saying about the video? That goes a lot further, I think, than like watching a metric go up and stuff. Viewership obviously matters. That kind of tells you how well a video will do in a mass audience, but I think comments tell you how it resonated with people. And you can, videos with more comments, I think, are worth more than a video that does immensely well in viewership but gets not a lot of comments. So I'll get off my soapbox on that. Old Terminator, Rambo movies, fucking love those. Entertaining, fun, memorable characters. Definitely weren't groundbreaking stories. I would argue that Terminator 1 and Rambo 1 were both groundbreaking for the action movie genre. I'll say that. I think Rambo's really good on talking about like a soldier's PTSD coming back from war and being a killing machine until like you're not a killing machine anymore and you have to be normal. Like it's a really fucked thing to do to a human if you think about it. I think it was good in that sense. Yeah, those movies were good. Then they just spawned a fucking franchise. And you could argue if the franchise movies are good or not. Damn, are they entertaining. The Last Blood Rambo, by the way, is like a very depressing movie to watch. It's also like, I don't know how accurate it is to how it paints Mexico, like right at the border. I know there's a lot of cartel activity in Mexico near the border, but they made it seem like you walk into the town and you're just gonna get kidnapped off the bat. I don't know how accurate that is. I think that was a bit of a jump. I agree with you, Quambo. Darling in the Franxx is good up until the ending. I think it falls off after that. Very enjoyable, and then it falls off. Older movies are best aside from newer ones. Yeah, I think there's good movies made still. It's just not as frequent, I guess. They put a lot more time into movies now. And that's a good and bad thing. But I think there's a lot of stinkers that come out from Hollywood now. Because they might make a lot of money. That's what they're cool. They're fun. Green's fun, money's fun. That's what they're after. On the modern meta adult superhero shows. They're okay. Invincible's really good. I read the comic a long time ago. I haven't watched the show, so I don't know about that. The Boys is okay. I don't mind it. Again, I read the comic for that. I was a big comic book reader when I was a kid. I didn't read The Boys as a kid though. That would have been crazy. But yeah, I think they're fine. I think the shows are okay. I think the source material is better. But yeah. they're definitely. I guess they're more interesting than. Here's the thing with superhero movies. I think they're good, especially the original like phases of Marvel. But they've kind of not been about making a story anymore, and it's just kind of like milking it. They're just milking it at this point. So some of the recent superhero movies are good, but there's a lot of bad ones because they just started mass producing them, thinking that like anything we put out, whether it's hot garbage or it's like a fucking gold mine, like greatest story ever, either way they're gonna do well. And they were kind of right. They do well. They don't get received well, but they do well. Depending on how much money you want back from them. Some of them are like sinking 600 million into a movie. That is fucking crazy. But like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was pretty good. The Doctor Strange movie sucked. The Ant-Man movie, let me tell you guys, I don't know if you guys saw Quantum Mania. I think Quantum Mania, that's the name. Worst superhero movie I've ever had to sit through. And they had Paul Rudd in it, and they fucked it up. It was garbage. And the saving grace was that MODOK is in it. I don't know if you guys have seen what MODOK looks like in that movie. I laughed my ass off. I don't think I've laughed harder. It was, oh my gosh. There's a scene where I'm not even worrying about spoiling this because none of it matters. This guy dies at some point, and it is the funniest thing I ever watched. Nobody cared that he died. I didn't know if they were trying to like go for a joke to like this guy's dying. But he just fucking dies at some point. He sacrifices his life, mind you, for these people. And then is dying. And they don't care. They just don't fucking care about him. I didn't know if that was planned or not. It was just a little weird. And the scene was awkward. And it made me laugh my ass off in the theater. And I didn't know if it was a scene you're supposed to laugh at. Because the guy's dying. But yeah, it was awful. Rocky is cooking shite. He used to be in decent movies. Like they were action movies that were fun, but now they're kind of shit. Interstellar, is that a different anime film? Oh, it is. Interstellar. All right. I'm watching a lot of seasonals. That you bring those up. Last part of Last Blood because I've been at the border for some time with friends for a visit, and there's a lot of cartel, but they're not stupid. Yeah, because I've seen some like clips of interactions with cartel, and it's like it's not like they're gonna fucking nab you right away, right? There's a possibility, but it's not like you're gonna cross that borderline and they're gonna fucking pick you up and take you. That just seems a little excessive. Cartel's terrorist org? Yeah, that makes sense. Life imitating the movie Sicario. I actually like Sicario. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I think it's a good movie. It's interesting. Yeah. Invincible Season 3 is going to be fire. Okay. Sock, what are you yapping about now? I think I just went on a rant about... No, I can't remember. You're gonna have to scroll back if you want to know what I was ranting about. I have no clue. I think it was movies still. I think I was still on that rant. I was talking about Quantum Mania. That's what it was. Ant-Man Quantum Mania. Yeah. Oof. All right. I have watched and read Walking Dead. I've read all of The Walking Dead to a certain point. I almost got to the ending. I was in the... What is it? The Skinwalkers? That's not the right word. The people that wore the skin of the zombies. I was at the end of their arc where they kind of got demolished. And then I stopped. And then it kind of ends pretty soon after. I'm pretty sure. Producers today are making movies for money. So they play it safe and make movies that are formulaic. Yes. Yes. Yeah, directors are usually innovators. They want to be. If they can't produce their own movies, they don't have enough money, they're cooked. They have to bow down to the producers. Whoever puts the money into movies always gets the more say. They are the ones that get to decide all the different stuff, and they sometimes overwrite the creative direction, which is when it usually kind of turns out bad. I don't know if you're interested in making more videos on the new season of FLCL. Maybe. I don't know. I've just heard they're not as liked. So I don't know if I will. But they might still talk about something interesting, so I'd have to look into it. Walking Dead fell off. The show? Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. No worry, Hoppin. We're not really on a script. We're just kind of. I'll just talk about something, I guess, and people will listen, and then I'll look at another comment and talk about something else. It's kind of just this style of these live streams, so. Western Media's ass right now. I don't think you're tweaking per se. I couldn't tell you something I look forward to. I guess there's some movies I look forward to seeing. But I don't know. I don't really. It's just not that interesting, I guess. There's a lot of like TV show stuff for Western Media. Western Media TV is not very good. Some of it can be good. But I have yet to see a TV show here that I grab onto and be like, this is gold. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything for that. Sumo X start. Oh no, today's sumo. Were you watching sumo wrestling? See you later, Acorn. If you're watching sumo wrestling, have fun. That sounds cool as shit. Yeah, the next video will be AOT. I gotta finish that series. It's guitar. Knight of Cups, Song to Song, or anything by Terrence Malick. I know you'd love to. I love the stream of consciousness style. I think I've heard of Terrence Malick. I don't know if I've watched anything by him. Oh no, I have. I watched The Badlands recently for a film class. I had to do a presentation on it. For anybody that doesn't know, this is The Badlands. It was probably, I think it was one of his first movies, but it's about basically how the American dream is fucked, because it is, and it's not what they tell you. I don't know if anyone here's like immigrated to the U.S. recently, and I don't know I'd be interested to see what you thought of coming here, and if you thought the American dream was real or not. But yeah, I mean the concept is the American dream is that you can come here, you can make good money doing something, anything really, and you can live off that. And then there's also the possibility of, you know, the Great Gatsby life, where you have a fuck ton of money. That's also part of the American dream. It's basically you can make any kind of life here. That's a fucking lie. I don't know how to tell it any other way, but yeah, that's what that's about. It's about a kid that basically kills people with this girl he shouldn't be with because she's underage and he's overage, and it's a weird fucking story. And they basically go on the run as fugitives in the Badlands, which is like, it's west of me, like South Dakota's area, Montana, Iowa. Yeah, that kind of area. So yeah. I knew you were a fellow film student. Of course I am. Of course I am. I didn't know what else to study if I go to college. My parents wanted me to go to college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I like film and stuff, so I did creative tech, which is basically film. I just do like the editing and, you know, the creation part of it. Yeah. It's less focused on film and more on the technology side of it, because I wanted to learn more about it. Obviously, I got kind of shitted on by the school because they don't really put a lot of funding to my program. So we don't have the greatest teachers. They don't always have somebody that knows what they're doing. What's the raunchiest anime I've ever watched? I don't know. DxD probably. Maybe To The Blue. Those are pretty raunchy. Redo of Healer. Fuck, dude. You watched that? Oh, man. I avoided that because I was just like, it's too much for me. But I might watch it at some point just to know what it's like. Evangelion was really good, but I like the movies more. Did I watch it for the memes? I watched it because I actually don't know why the fuck I watched it. It was on my list. I knew it was good, so I watched it. And then I ended up wanting to do a video on it. And that spun me to where I am today. So without Evangelion, would Sensei even exist? That's a great question. So I'm very, very appreciative of Evangelion for letting me make a living from their video. Or from their movie or show. Yeah, all that stuff. Rural Mexico has a bad distortion of the American dream. One of my maids years ago told me that in her village, people think that once you step into U.S. soil, people just hand you money and cars. Yeah, that's the American dream. I think isn't a thing in America. Like if you're here, like nobody thinks it's real. I would argue that maybe there are people that do think the American dream's real that are in the U.S. I think it's more of a people outside the U.S. think of America like it's gonna have an American dream. No, there's a lot of issues here. There is so many issues. It's really bad right now. Not to like a point where like I'd rather be, in Ukraine in a Russian war. That's a lot worse than what this is. There's a lot of places, in the world that are worse than America, but we're not in a great direction right now. I would say so, at least. I'm doing screenwriting. We're gonna be baristas, bro. Screenwriting. I feel like that's really cool. I like script writing. I think it's fun. I think it'll be fine. Write some scripts, try to sell them. I would definitely, yeah, you got to think of it in a way of like, can I make a full living off this? That's difficult. That's always difficult. Yeah, I hope you can. But yeah, screenwriting, that's awesome. Kiss X Sis. I gotta watch that, by the way. I'm not kidding. I want to watch Kiss X Sis. I get it. It's a fucking shitter shell, but I like to watch those sometimes. They make me I don't know, feel giddy. Like, oh my god, I found such another shitter to watch. But I feel like Gurren Lagann. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it probably 2 weeks from now, so I'll get back to you. I think I'll like it. I don't know if people will compare it to Evangelion. I don't know if it'll compare it to me, for me. Am I interested in a film career? No. I like film. I made that one short film recently, L'Ombre du Passé. It was fun. I do like making that stuff. I wouldn't want to work in Hollywood. It's just kind of really, I don't know. There's not a big work-life balance there. Or it's hard to, and it's just hard to get a spot to work. I like what I do on YouTube. I like that I'm like my own boss. I can make what I want to make. So I plan to do this as long as possible. As long as it's willing to support me. Yeah. I like this because I feel like I can make what I want versus make what somebody else might want, even if I don't like it. I can creatively think it's bad. I'm stuck doing it because I'm hired by someone else. Freelance stuff would be fun. I think I could do that. I don't know if I could do the working for MGM or something, like some studio. You love the original Evangelion series and End of Eva purely because of how they relate to several characters. Okay. Rebuilds had a fucking issue. They definitely did. And as you pointed out, like 3.0 was not supposed to be the way it was. It was supposed to cover the period when Shinji was in the cocoon. And he wasn't supposed to be in the movie. But they changed that completely. I don't know everything about why that happened. But yeah, that definitely changed the course of the movies. I think 3.0 was fine. I don't think it was bad. I think 3.0 1.0, which is the fourth movie, was good as well. It's just, it's not the same. It's not. It doesn't feel the same. It's like a different story, more mecha based than human psychological character based. I favored the series. I think the rebuilds are fine. They're kind of their own thing to me. Yeah, I do favor the original. Kiss X Sis is raunchier. I know. I'm still interested in watching it. You can say what you want about me. I don't make videos on those for a reason. I don't think there's much to talk about. I do have a video on domestic girlfriend coming out. It was just me basically glorifying it because I enjoy it as a piece of media. I like shows like that, like Domestic Girlfriend, because it's interesting. It's so fucked up. It's so illegal. Yet the stories are interesting. It's a soap opera. That's what it is. I think anime soap operas are very fun to watch, and because you can you make fun of the characters, you probably hate them all. It's like School Days. I think School Days is a fucking pile of shit. But it is so much fun to make fun of the characters because they just make terrible decisions. They never made a good decision in their life. All right, Otto. I'll see you later, dude. Thanks for coming by. Thoughts on inauguration? Oh man, I think it's best we leave American politics out of this. Yeah, I have my choice words with it, but yeah, yeah, we'll probably leave American politics at the door. They're pretty what's the word? Like people get really heated about it. I get it, but you know, it's not the. I guess this isn't the place. I guess I'm not a political channel. I don't want to be. I kind of want to just focus on people. I think that's better. A lot of governments make bad decisions. U.S. is doing that, in my opinion, in some ways. But yeah, people get heated about this stuff. So go watch Hassan, I guess, if you want to watch a political debate. I guess he's very leftist. So I guess if you're a writer, you're a Republican, you probably wouldn't like Hassan. I wonder, are you guys outside of America? How the fuck is our country looking? It is a hot mess. We got a billionaire as our president now. That's crazy. This guy has no political experience besides being the president once. That was his first political experience. That's interesting to me. I guess I said I wouldn't talk about it, but I'm kind of talking about it. I don't want to get anyone offended or mad, so that's why I try to stay away from it. But yeah, you can look at it and be like, well, this is a bad pick. Absolutely frightening. Not American, it's funny as fuck. There's two ways you can take it if you don't live in America. Well, even in America, you can either see it as like scary, or you can think it's funny as fuck. Like, what are these people doing? I think both are valid. It is a soap opera, dude. It's so bad. It's tiring too. Like, United States is big, and you don't really. What the federal government does affect you, but it's rather minimal. So it's not as big a deal unless they pass something big. Then it's a big deal. There's a chance he might do some of that stuff, so it's kind of worrying, but depending on what he does. But yeah, it's just annoying because I try to walk through life, trying to just do the best I can. And there's a lot of problems right now in the U.S. And there's a lot of stuff they could do to fix it, but they're not. They're not going to do it. I also there's a lot of like violence issues here. And I don't like it, especially when you have like a fiance, and if you're like thinking to start a family here, especially because like there's a lot of violence towards kids in schools. So that's like worrying. I don't know if I don't know if I feel comfortable having a kid here right now. So president is legit orange Patrick Bateman. That's actually good. That's a good comparison. He's kind of leaning that way. There's a war a few countries over in the Netherlands. Might as well not have an army right now. I do not have family in the U.S., but they're well off. I do have family in the U.S., but they're well off enough to be fine. Yeah, I mean, there's certain groups. We don't have to talk about it too much, but there's certain groups, yeah, that are being targeted right now in America, and it's not. It doesn't look good. It really doesn't. So there's nothing I can do. I am just a YouTuber that is trying to pay rent, and yeah, I mean, we're at right now. Like I'm getting by. Like if things continue the way they are, I'll be fine. Would I like to make more? Yeah, because I would also like to look at moving away. I think the U.S. is like fine to live in. There's nothing wrong with living here. I just, for what I want, I think I would want to live somewhere else. And it's also where you're at in the U.S. It's a big place. There's parts that are better than others. That's it's kind of like if you go to each state, there's different laws and rules, and like there's certain states right now that are worse off than my state. So yeah, the U.S. is an interesting system. It is very flawed. It doesn't work well because of all the like to pass things is so complex. I don't know if you guys know this, but we have like two houses, the Senate, the House, and the President. They all have to agree to pass something by like 2/3, and the President has to stamp it. Otherwise, it goes back through the whole thing, and nothing gets passed. Nothing gets passed unless they really want something to get passed. And usually, it's not for the benefit of other people. It's usually the benefit of the government itself. So, an interesting system. It's an interesting system. As an American who has lived in Mexico, we take our freedom for granted. It is nice to have what we have as citizens, regardless of the current political state of things. Yes, I agree with that. I don't mean to sound super pessimistic about America. It is fine. It is fine. I'll be fine. I just feel bad for certain people that aren't going to be fine necessarily, or might be affected more than me. Because like I'm not super poor. I can afford rent. Some people can't, and they're like really struggling. And there's not really a lot of stuff to help them here. While there's like, we also have people in this country that are really rich, like billionaires, and they're not gonna really do anything to help those people that are really struggling. That kind of sucks from a standpoint. I guess you got to sit on the sideline and watch that. So I don't like that necessarily. We don't have a lot of programs right now that kind of try to help that. We've tried, they just don't work. That's another thing. Things just sometimes don't work in this state. I'm not a politician, and I'm not qualified to talk on this stuff, so don't take my word for it. But yeah, U.S. is fine. It's okay. But yeah, there's places worse than us. I guess is that I'll leave it off. I don't take it for granted. There's other places that I'd rather not be. Yeah. Going to the U.S. in a couple weeks to get treatment. And the funny aspect is starting to fade. Yeah, that's interesting. You're going to the U.S. for treatment. I'm not gonna ask what actually. That's personal. That's interesting though, because most people that are like they go outside the U.S. for treatment. But I guess that depends where you're at and what's available to you where you're at. It can get worse, yeah. As U.S. citizen, it's very hard to leave. Being abroad, I was surprised your visa isn't as strong. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of depends what you're looking for if you go abroad. You can get visas. They can be difficult sometimes, depending on the country you're going to. Yeah, you can also change your citizenship. You would have to give up your U.S. citizenship. So that's a big thing. That's a big choice to make. The media totally makes it more fearful than it is. Like, despite what Orange Cheeto Man does in the next 4 years, we'll probably all live to see the next term of a president. They do like to play into fear. Yeah, I mean that's a big thing with the news. It's why I don't watch the news. And social media, by the way, guys, is not free of that either. There's a big, I don't know, fear mongering on social medias. They kind of make you fall into a bubble of, oh no, everything's going to like blow up. But yeah, it'll probably be fine. Probably be fine. Extremists are the loudest, yeah. Do what we can. That's a great way to put it, Nicholas. That's all we can do. No, it's okay, coffee. You're Saudi, and while we have excellent med and hospitals, the U.S. has newer tech and newer meds. Okay. Yeah, we do. I mean, I would hope so, given the fact that our healthcare system costs so much. I would hope we have some good stuff. The best facilities are? Yeah. I don't know if we have the best facilities anymore, but we have good facilities. I don't know. You'd have to look online. I don't know. I have no clue what country would have the best medical facilities. How to reheat pancakes? That's a difficult task. I'm gonna be honest with you. A microwave's not the best. You put it in a pan for a bit. I don't know. Warm them up. That might be a good way to do it. Hello, Koi. Eating a cold pancake's fucking crazy. I don't know if I'd do that. I've done it before though, but your treatment's $1 million? Fuck. Yeah, it's the US healthcare system. It will cost that much. I was wondering, like, if you're coming to the US for healthcare. Yeah, it's a lot of money here. Especially like you have to have health insurance here if you want to be able to survive without getting bankrupt. All right. So it's 6:37. All right, I'm gonna show you guys. I think I've talked about this already. These are what I'm watching this season. Ignore these three. I'm just watching those. If you guys have not watched Sakamoto Days, it's pretty good. I would recommend it. It's kind of like episodic. These are all rom-coms. These two, and ignore that one too. This one's a rom-com. And that one's a rom-com. They're okay. I don't think any of them stand out for me, by the way. I'm going to this. Also, somebody asked me what seasonals I was watching maybe 30 minutes ago, so I'm sorry for making you wait. But yeah, this is Can You Keep a Secret? It's like an office romance. This is like, the classic. They were forced into marriage and they don't like each other, but they end up liking each other. This one is about a girl that's being a bitch. That's a little strong, actually. I'll take that back. She's a pick-me, and she wants this guy's attention, but he won't give it to her. And this one's 100 Girlfriends Season 2. I don't know if you guys saw Season 1. It was ridiculous. It made me laugh, so I'm watching Season 2. Soul Leveling Season 2, by the way, is the best shit I've ever seen. This is probably one of the best shonen seasons I've seen. The last 3 episodes have been nothing short of amazing in my opinion. And then Zenshu, which is a kind of episodic but also carries over the story. Mappa Project, it's okay. The animation's really well and I like the story, it's cute. So yeah, I think that's all I'm watching. I'm watching Kimi no Todoroke. Yeah, Kimi no Todoroke. This is an old show, really good romance. Prison School, I'm watching that. It's fucking interesting. And then I'm starting Sony Boy this week, and this is Yakuin Domo. That's pretty good. It's like comedy anime, I guess. Raunchy comedy anime. Yeah, Nicholas, I know. We're almost done with it. I'm watching it with my roommate. It is a fucking ride. It is a fucking ride. Yeah. Kimi no Todoroke is probably one of the best romances I've seen. Just like in cuteness and everything. So yeah, I haven't watched Prison School before, Moo. This is actually my first time watching it. I do watch sports anime. I think like Haikyuu's really good. I have Slam Dunk, the movie. I watched the entire series and then we watched the Slam Dunk movie. The Slam Dunk movie is really good. Even if you guys have never seen the original show, it's still worth a watch. It's super good. Yeah, sports anime is pretty good. Trying to think. I don't know if there's any genre of anime that's inherently bad. You wanted to like Todoroki, but you were bored. Oh yeah, I mean it's slice of life. Some people don't like slice of life because nothing happens in it, and I understand that. But yeah, I mean I like slice of life. Like one of my first animes I watched was Slice of Life. But yeah, it's not for everyone. It's pretty slow. Stuff like that's usually slow. All right, guys. It's 6:40. I got a pizza to pick up yet again. It's like how I end every single live stream. Looking in the future, give you guys some details. This Saturday, Chapter 2 of the story of Attack on Titan comes out. I don't think it's as well received. I don't know if you guys like it, the 30 of you that are here right now. But there's this chapter, and then next week there's the final chapter, and then I'll move on to a new show. I think the video after that's Evangelion. And so, yeah, that's what's next. I'll be streaming again, 5 o'clock Central. Wednesday next week, and then the following week, not next week, is when the Twitch live stream starts. So I'll say it again next time, but starting in February on Mondays, I'll stream on Twitch. We'll do other stuff like anime tier list, anime opening quizzes, GeoGuessr, Yakuza 0, whatever the fuck, I don't know. It's just different stuff. I think it'll be fun. And yeah, thank you for joining me again. It's fun to talk to you guys. I enjoy it a lot. It makes what I do worth it. It's a lot more fun to talk to the people that watch you. Because I don't always get that. And so yeah. There's a Discord too if you guys ever want to talk with each other or me. I try to get on there every day, but sometimes I get distracted with work. So anyway, yeah. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you next week. Bye.